Okay, for our final group, we have these two teams who will be debating the pros and cons of immigration during the 1800s in California. Sarah, you need to come find a seat for us to get started. All right, Lucas, when you're ready, you can begin.
Our topic talks about immigration and how it was good. Immigration became big, really big, in 1847 through today. Most people who immigrated were Chinese at the time, but some were Sweden, some were Spanish, etc. Since so many people immigrated to California, California became the 31st state, not only because of immigration, because of the gold rush, the Continental Railroad, and yeah. People died on the way to California. People died on the way to California, but it was only 1/3 of people who died in California, which wasn't a lot of people. The reason most people immigrated to California was for opportunity, for a better life here than before, because they were escaping famine, droughts, and just have a better life. In 2 years, 19,000 people immigrated to California, which was a lot. Immigrants were the best workers that worked in California. Thank you.
So, the immigration to California started with the Chinese in the 1800s. The Chinese were immigrating to California to escape the poor conditions of their homeland. They had terrible conditions, so they wanted to go to California, which they had heard had better conditions. But unfortunately, when they arrived in California, they were forced to work on the Transcontinental Railroad with very harsh conditions. But the Chinese did not intend to work on the Transcontinental Railroad. They wanted to have better conditions. Also, during the gold rush immigration, when people were immigrating from wherever they were immigrating from to get to California for gold, one population shrank because the Native American population shrank. This population shrank because when people were immigrating to California and they saw Native Americans on their panning land, they would kill them because they thought that, oh, this is my panning land now, I can kill you because I need this land for gold, that's my land, I take it. Well, no, it's not. And even worse, one immigration led to people committing suicide. In 1933, when the Chinese were immigrating from China to California for better conditions, if they did not get in, because they were questioned for up to 2 days, and if they were not eligible or they got too many questions wrong, they would sometimes commit suicide because it was too shameful to go all the way back. And the grown-ups would be questioned for 2 days, up to 2 days, and the kids would be questioned for only a couple hours. Thank you. I disagree with that. Immigrants had a better life in California than in other places. In other places, immigrants face fatal problems, like natural disasters, droughts, famines, and poverty. Actually, Chinese immigrants escaped a fatal famine in China. I disagree with the thing you said that they were forced to work on the Transcontinental Railroad because the Chinese came for opportunity, which means work. They worked on the railroad, and evidently they were the best workers. They actually got paid $32.50 a month, which was a lot that time, and was better than a lot of things you could get a month in the gold rush. Immigration actually made California the 31st state in the U.S. Population increased, so the reason why so many people immigrated was because California's great resources, like food, water, things like that. Actually, in 2 years, people immigrated to California. 19,000 people immigrated to California. People had to persuade others to come to California. The people who immigrated to California had to go through border crossing, and some people had to persuade the security guard or border patrol. Even though some people didn't get in, it is likely that they would not have had a better life in California than in their original homeland. Only 1/3 of the Chinese people were banned from immigrating to California. Although a lot of other people say that all of the Chinese people were immigrating to
I have to disagree with Ella said, because, as she said before, yes, the population did increase in terms of people in California because of immigration, but it also decreased in terms of Native American population because of immigration. The security was a big part of coming to California, but the security was strict. The security was so strict that most people had to be sent back to their homeland. And because of this, people had to lie to get into California. A good example of this is a Chinese immigrant who came to California named Li Keng Wang, who had her mother disguise herself as auntie. And yes, immigrants did get work, and they did get paid, and to find gold, but there was not much point in going to California because there was a lot of people who were already in the areas of California where gold was found, because there were people who were already in America who were already looking for gold after the first person who found gold in the area. Thank you.
I disagree with Kobe that some people did have to lie or disguise themselves, but lots of people made it through. Because in 2 years, 19,000 people made it through. And so they only 1/3 of the Chinese people got sent back. During the gold rush, when people immigrated during the gold rush, lots of people got gold if they worked really hard. Like some people who came during the easy times, they got gold really fast because one person just was sweeping. Even poor people got gold during the easy time because the person was sweeping their cabin. They found $500 worth of gold, and another person went fishing for salmon. And then when they took it home, they fried it and just found loads of gold on their pan. And so it used to be easy to find gold, but then it got harder, and so people had to work harder. And so the Chinese people, because they worked really hard, they got gold. So even though they got paid, they still got money. We showed how immigration was good. These are the ways we showed you. A lot of people immigrated to California from all over the world. California became the 31st state. Immigrants had better lives here because they escaped famines and droughts and other things. Chinese people got paid $32.50. Almost everyone got paid. People died on the way to California, but lots of people made it through. Chinese people worked hard, really hard, because they found gold. Some immigrants brought diseases, but not all. And even though they brought diseases, they still made it. Some people had to persuade the border crossing patrol to make it through, but still lots of people made it. For these reasons, this is how we showed how immigration was good. said that like many immigrants were able to come into California, but really even more were not able to come into California, especially Chinese. And they got sent back to the poor conditions of their homeland. Eden also said that even if some people had diseases, some of them still got in, but really no people with diseases got into California. Also, what my group said was because of immigration, the immigrants started lying to the officials at Angel Island. They got let down because they couldn't find any gold, and they got killed by working on the railroad. Some of them killed themselves by shame, because they didn't want to go back. And then most immigrants got influenced from coming to kill other people, such as Native Americans. All of those bad things started happening because of immigration in general. Now, don't you agree that immigration was a terrible thing?
All right, let's give one last round of applause.